another last SEC road trip of the year. How do you feel like practice has gone, and what are your thoughts of A&M so far?
Yeah, it's going good. The guys have been bounced back with good energy. Got a lot of excitement running around out there. Watching A&M, first couple thoughts are talented, athletic, quick, and they do a great job running to the football.
They got some size up front, too, one of the bigger lines you'll see. Is there any carryover from last week? I mean, after playing Kentucky from a targeting standpoint?
Yeah. There will be some. You know, they play out of an Okie front, very similar to Kentucky. They'll mix in a little bit of four-down stuff. At this time in the year, though, we've seen those fronts from a targeting perspective. You know, it's going to be about fundamental execution, obviously our intent on contact, and how we can sustain blocks in order to create in the run game.
You coach tight ends and offensive tackles, obviously. I know Malik was kind of put in a tough situation this year, but how much I know the plan is still for him to play offensive or somewhere on the offensive line, but how much does that help him play in tight end this year to carry over?
Yeah, I think from a physical maturity standpoint, it's really helping him out. You know, I think with offensive linemen, you know, coaching the position for so long, I think the biggest jump you see is the first time they're out there on a Saturday afternoon till that next year. You know, because if you're sitting on the sideline your first year, your second year, you never know what it feels like. But you get instant feedback when you're out there on the field, you know, from a physical understanding the work you got to put in the offseason in order for your body to mature so you're ready that next fall.
What was that first reaction when y'all approached him and said, hey, we
probably
need you to play tight end?
It was no big deal. He came in the spring and saw it as an opportunity and kind of put his best foot forward. And we just keep adapting to his strengths and you know, really trying to spell the other guys in that room with the lack of depth, you know.
Obviously, you got some guys that are more inline type tight ends, other guys are attached tight ends. I mean, you know, when you're beginning to break the roster down, you know, how much of that is part of your consideration about kind of filling needs with each skill set?
Yeah, and I think that's the number one thing that we try to do. Now, the downside to it is you do create certain tendencies that you got to go in and you got to try to break them week in and week out. But finding stuff, you know, that's the one advantage we have as an offense is we control the personnel. We control those matchups by putting those on the field. You know, so trying to get those guys in the right situations that they can have success in is really what we're looking to do.
How has Seydoux been progressing, and whether he's on scout team or practice?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the skill set that we kind of want from that flex position. He's shown a lot of good things. You know, he's done some receiver stuff to help out scout numbers and all that, but we do see him as an inside receiver, flex Y. He is the guy that we thought he was, you know, real athletic, can go up and get the ball, does some good things, run after catch and all that, and we got to continue to build some toughness in and around the box for him to play at this level. But he is as advertised from a skill set perspective.
Everybody talks about like a next man up mentality. It's almost just become a cliche in college football, but you guys have been so beat up this year. I mean, how do you feel like the guys have kind of handled the challenge a little bit deeper on the depth chart?
Yeah, I think they've stepped in and they put their best foot forward, and obviously that's been some, you know, and like you talked about with the tight end position, getting the right guy doing the right thing. So you've seen a little bit more sub, you know, and then the hit we took from Spivey, Spivey was a guy who could do everything for us early in the year, and then losing him late in camp. Having to adapt to that has been the biggest challenge, but for the most part, I think these guys see an opportunity to play SEC football, get out there on a Saturday, and they've answered the call every time we've asked.
A&M, do they disguise all their blitzes?
Yeah, they do a good job. They come from all over the place. Not only are they talented, they don't just sit in front of you. You know, there's going to be some movement we got to deal with. There's going to be some late rotations we got to be able to understand and see from a protection perspective and from a run targeting perspective as well. And we got to make sure the plan protects itself.